No holdout for Puka Nacua, which is fantastic news. There's some thinking that maybe as he awaits a new contract, something that he kind of stalled himself when he went off and got a little crazy in the offseason. There was a lot of talk about he'd have a contract by now, but then he went off the rails. He went to rehab or wellness center, got better, maybe. We don't even know. We didn't even get an update. He just kind of has shown up lately. Kind of low key in the spotlight, looks pretty solid right now in terms of his, where he's at mentally, and he looks great physically. Puka Nacua is never going to be a problem 1 year at a time. There is a dynasty aspect to this conversation that we always have, and we have a little bit more aggressively here on this channel versus other people that just act like everything is going to be great for 5, 6, 7 years when Matthew Stafford leaving could be horrible for Puka Nacua's dynasty value and will be horrible for it. Puka Nacua, when you hand him $100 million guaranteed, what happens to this curbing of his behavior now? Does he go crazy? Who knows? But when we're talking about Puka Nacua 2026, he could be the number one overall scorer in fantasy football. So redraft Puka Nacua, very different from dynasty Puka Nacua. But we have Puka Nacua's conversation to be had tonight because the man shows up. He's at camp. He's not holding out. There were thoughts that he might hold out because he's done what he needs to do. He went to rehab or wellness center. Looks good. Wants his money. Not getting his money yet. What's it all mean? We got Kyle Shanahan in a vehicle accident. Broken nose. Broken ribs. I think 3 broken ribs. Had over 40 stitches to his face. There's a whole lot more, I guess, injury to this situation too. So Shanahan will be probably not able to participate in a lot of the upcoming, weeks, maybe weeks, at least upcoming days, events in San Francisco. What happens with that? Probably nothing, but we'll address it. And then George Kittle put on a PUP. What does that mean? Neighbors avoided the PUP. We talked about that the other night. We can, touch on that as well. The Fantasy Football Show, Graveyard Edition. Breaking news, late night breaking news edition, draft edition, underdog promo code Smitty edition. So on Underdog, using the link that's pinned in the live chat, the link that is in the description of the video, code Smitty also gets it done. We will be drafting tonight, seeing where we draft these guys. Maybe we draft a little Puka Nacua tonight on the channel. So get ready for a nice little information-packed, draft-packed, phone call-driven, super chat-driven, questions-answered-driven show tonight. Your one-stop shop. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that thumb up button. We only have freaking 16 thumbs up already. Those are rookie numbers in this racket. Let's dive in. The Fantasy Football Show Graveyard Edition begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks. You're watching a
graveyard stream.
Yeah, hard to know if that power plant, made him drive off the road or whatnot. So, lots to talk about. Grayskull says Dynasty Judkins 27 first rounder. Judkins 27 first, 28 first for Jamar Chase. I mean, yeah, unless that's Jeremiah Smith, and even then, you'd have to have a conversation about it. It is pretty much an easy Jamar Chase. Give me Jamar Chase all day long. Puka Nacua, ladies and gentlemen, looks like well behaved lately. And Rams head coach Sean McVay said Puka Nacua will be at training camp and will participate in practices. So this kind of came out earlier, and then, everything's going to be pretty, you think, well in order in Rams camp. There's no surprises, no craziness. Now, could he hold in at some point? That's certainly in the realm of possibility. Some of these times where we get news or hear word that a player is going to show up, they're not holding out. It is their good faith attempt, and then when the team doesn't partake and take a step toward that, and that, let's say, the contract negotiations aren't even happening, then Puka could then take a step backwards. So don't think we're out of the woods yet of no hold in. A version of a holdout is what these players do these days. But I believe he's probably not going to go that route. He could listen to his agent, though. People oftentimes think that these players, you can completely predict their their behaviors and likelihoods of holding out because they're a chill dude or whatever. But sometimes the agent can take hold of the situation and advise the player not to do something. Case in point would be George Pickens, who is actually a pretty laid-back guy, despite the Pittsburgh Steelers diva mentality that he seemed to potentially, that reputation that was kind of falsely, I think, labeled. Pickens said that his agent told him to miss OTAs. He didn't want to. And then when that didn't necessarily trigger what they wanted, he showed up. And Pickens says he's banking on himself. Pickens says he's there for his team. Pickens says he's ready to win. And there was no threat of him, not showing up. But his agent said, we got to play the game. So Puka Nacua's agent could tell him to play the game. Who knows? But you do have to wonder from that dynasty perspective and angle, what in the hell happens to this kid who we don't really know is fully over what he was going through? What in the hell happens to him when you hand him $100 million guaranteed? If he's not fully where he needs to be mentally and emotionally and whatever, growth-wise, what does he do? Does he go off the rails? Who knows? So there is that concern long-term. Again, dynasty, very different than 2026 redraft. Now, there's still injury risk and concern from a redraft managed league perspective, because the man is one of the most injury-prone top 15 overall players in 2026 and beyond. He just is. You draft him at number 3 or 4 overall, it's okay to be like, who cares? Why play scared? I get it. And that's why redraft doesn't really bother me too much. However, when you're talking about Jamar Chase, you're talking about JSN, you're talking about Bijan, you're talking about Gibbs, you do have to kind of say to yourself, well, wait a minute. Do I need to play this game with myself where I'm like, I'm not going to be scared. I'm going to take a chance, when you don't really have to if you love JSN. There's nothing wrong with JSN over Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua shouldn't fall any later than after those guys. So Jamar Chase, JSN, and then Puka. And depending on your league, your full PPR, half PPR, non-PPR, or just how players get snagged, or how many wide receivers does your league start? 3 mandatory wide receivers. You could take Chase or JSN, or if you're only mandatory starting 2 wide receivers, then it would go Gibbs or Bijan, Gibbs, and then you would go with the wide receivers like Jamar Chase, JSN, and then Puka. But Puka should go at the end of that group, even with concern. Baking in the concern puts him at the end of that group. Not worrying about the concern could put him as high as number 1 or number 2 overall. And you wouldn't be wrong to think you could maybe get that kind of production out of Puka Nacua in 2026. The man's a monster. The man's the myth, the legend. But he is only the myth, the legend, the man, as long as Stafford's there. So again, I'm not saying Puka goes to 15 or 22 overall or something stupid like that. If Stafford, let's say, is retired next year, gets injured in the middle of the year, and he's never going to come back, and we just know he's cooked, tears his knee up so badly, there's no way he's rehabbing that thing, or his back is just completely, massively screwed up from a big hit, then Puka Nacua is probably cooked as a top 5 overall player for sure. He's probably very, very unlikely to continue to play top 10 overall play from the point of that Stafford's removed from the equation. So again, it comes back to like JSN is a little bit safer. Not to mention, if you want to talk about safety mechanisms in place, I'm telling you, you don't have to believe me, you don't have to agree with me. I really don't care what people think about what my take is at the end of the day. I'm going to give it to you. That's why I created this channel and this platform to begin with so many years ago, is not to appease somebody and try and convince one person to think the way I think. I'm here to tell a story. I'm here to make predictions. I'm here to tell you what I believe. And I have conversations. This is a show about the people, no doubt about it. I think I serve the people well. Open phone line, answering every question we can. Doing it the way Dad did it, the way America does it. Worked out pretty well so far. But at the end of the day, you're going to hear my opinion. And my opinion is this. The safety mechanism in place for JSN is better than Puka Nacua, because I love Jalen Milroe, whether anybody else does or not. I'm not saying Jalen Milroe won't go through growing pains if he ever got into the lineup, but Jalen Milroe is somebody that I believe, with Sam Darnold, Jalen Milroe, you have a safety mechanism that will protect JSN at almost all cost. Here you have two injury concerns. Puka Nacua staying healthy, Matt Stafford staying healthy. Both of them have to stay healthy for your Puka Nacua value to take full effect and go the distance. So there is a little bit of is JSN better? And you're not scared, playing scared, being stupid scared. You're just being logical. And you're saying to yourself, there are so many other ways that this could go wrong for Puka, even in 1 year, than they could for JSN. You could say that the Seahawks are going to be a lot less potent this year. I call cap, because if they're a lot lesser of a team, schedule is tougher. They're playing from behind. They're throwing in the third and the fourth quarter more than normal. So it all kind of feeds into JSN maybe getting more volume. So I don't care about that argument. I think that argument is great. I think that argument feeds my argument, and my argument then grows in strength.
Let him cook.
Puka Nacua not holding out. That's what we have to go off right now. You know my stance about Puka overall, and from Dynasty Redraft, you got it all. Got it all now if you haven't absorbed it yet. If you're filing in from the summer and you haven't been paying attention, now you know. Kyle Shanahan got in a car accident, and he required 40 stitches in his face. He also, it was pretty bad. It's so bad that he's obviously not going to be around for a little while. Now, what's a little while mean? We don't really fully know. There's no 100% diagnosis or I would say projection of time missed. And there's still some ambiguity behind the whole situation. But I'll read to you the injuries and everything that took place. But Kyle Shanahan, let me read it all to you. Here it is. Lynch. Let's see here. See if I can read the entire injury. Here it is. Got an accident during summer break mid-July. So this kind of got held back for a while. Mid-July, 40 stitches in the face. Suffered a severe concussion during the July 14th car accident. In an accident colliding with an SUV. 3 broken ribs. His hand needed over 40 stitches, and his face suffered I think there's some confusion about whether the stitches were in the face or not. I think his face suffered severe injury, or he had a face injury, had a concussion, and then had 40 stitches in his face. And I don't know. Who cares about the details of that? He's going to be fine, but when is he going to be there? I don't know. And does it affect anything? Not yet. If he was to miss significant time, and my guess is that he's back really quick. Like, this is almost like being announced as he's starting to ramp up to come back or something. I don't think that this is something that's going to keep him away. He'll crawl onto the field to help coach his team. So expect to hear more news later. Doesn't affect anything for me. John Lynch got to the podium and started addressing the media, and one of the first things he said, I believe it was today or yesterday, this clip, where he said, Brandon Aiyuk, let me address the Brandon Aiyuk situation right now so that I know I'm going to get a lot of questions on it. He's on the left list, which means he's left for essentially for dead pretty much. He's on the left list. He remains on the left list. He's not on the active roster. He's not on the team's roster whatsoever. He doesn't count against the team. He's essentially not a player on the team, right? Because he hasn't reported. He also has to file paperwork to get reinstated by the league anyway, which he hasn't done. He's done none of this. And so right now the San Francisco 49ers hands are tied in a way. And they're saying, look, he shows up, we'll cut him. They've said he's played his last down in San Francisco. They're potentially going after some of his signing bonus. That report is still out there. And Aiyuk saying he'll never return to San Francisco or to California. He's got a open warrant for his arrest. And he's like, I'll just stay clear. He said on a social media post, I'll just stay clear of California. Well, what happens if he does join the Commanders and they play the Niners in San Francisco early in the season? Who knows? But who knows who will be waiting for him? Will there be some company waiting for him at his locker? Who knows? But Brandon Aiyuk is not any closer to showing up to get released or putting himself in a position, taking accountability or ownership of the environment and situation he's put himself in. And it sounds like he's just going to sit there on the left list, they call it. And so who knows where that's going to go, but Aiyuk obviously doesn't have a clue as to how to solve this situation for himself. George Kittle talking about it more. There's just a lot of Niner news today. It's kind of strange. But 49ers placed George Kittle on the physically unable to perform list, the PUP. Remember, this is the list that Neighbors avoided. So Malik Neighbors avoided the PUP. George Kittle, who's thought to be a better shot by most people, not by us, but by people that like to run their mouth and pretend they know about this situation. Neighbors had more of a shot of missing week 1 than George Kittle. George Kittle goes on PUP. Neighbors doesn't go on PUP. Neighbors fully expected to practice very, very soon. To what capacity, we don't know. Do they ramp up Neighbors? But enough not to put him on the PUP. He could go on the active PUP, which just means he could come off at any moment. So George Kittle, they're putting him on the PUP list. And obviously he can, that's still to be determined whether he plays week 1. But Neighbors never went on the PUP, and we'll just see if Neighbors ends up going on the active PUP, just so that they could get it's just a technical paperwork type of an issue. In fact, I kind of expect it because it gives them abilities to look at other players. It gives them another body that they can assess, and so it's kind of an advantageous move when you talk about like the numbers and the paperwork game. And it doesn't take Neighbors off the field or anything like that. It's just kind of like, hey, we're going to technically put you on the active PUP, keep you there so we can take a look at, John Doe over here and get him on the field. So it's just one of those advantages that teams can take advantage of. So don't think anything negative like that decision got reversed. It's a totally different situation if he gets put on the active PUP. George Kittle, do think that there's a chance he still misses week 1. George Tungus would take over and obviously have a pretty good week 1, week 2, week 3. If Kittle did start the season on the PUP and missed the first 4 games of the season, Tungus would have tremendously upgraded value. I've been drafting Tungus quite a bit in Underdog as my 3rd tight end because I think no matter what, Kittle's a big risk to re-injure his Achilles. And what did I tell you guys months ago, even more than months ago, that Kittle would be a highly likely candidate to re-tear his Achilles tendon or tear the other Achilles tendon because he's rushing back. And he's rushing back. And I told everyone that Cam Akers would rupture his Achilles tendon that he had repaired or rupture the other one. And it was almost a guarantee. And what happened so quickly after I said that? He ruptured his Achilles tendon. So Achilles tendons are no joke to rush back from. It does take a full calendar year before you are playing on it, before you can actually come back and have very similar explosion. So for him to come back so short, I mean, Kittle just tore it. It was like, it feels like it was just a couple months ago. It was really like 6, 7, whatever it was. But it was, he tore it at the very end of the season, and he's back trying to play week 1. It's just not smart. And I hopefully Kittle and this training staff take this to, this situation a little more seriously. And it looks like they are by putting him on this list, but maybe they're doing this to get some bodies on the field as well. And George is expecting to fully play week 1. If he does, he'll probably re-injure his Achilles or tear the other one. But if he sits out the first 4 games, Tungus goes to the moon for a temporary amount of time. And if Kittle does force himself back early, Tungus might become valuable at the end of the 2026 fantasy football best ball season. So prepare for that. Malik Neighbors, as I said earlier, avoided the PUP. So this guy going to the moon, we've been scooping him up left and right. And he should continue to be a value upon value because I don't see him falling in the Underdog ADP, which I have updated right here on this screen right here. Here is the Underdog ADP. This is updated as of 24 hours ago. I do believe that the ADP will continue to get updated and this ADP data will change. But right now, we're still looking at Neighbors around this, 4.2. And let me just check and see if the update happened tonight. It usually happens right around midnight Eastern or so, or maybe it happened during the day. Malik Neighbors' ADP on Underdog as of this moment is 36 overall. Damn it, it just moved. It just moved to 3.12. So Neighbors is now, but it's still so close to where it is. Like if you're picking him at 35 instead of 4.2, same thing. So you just have to reach for him at the tail end of 3 to make sure you still get him. But it looks like it did move. I'll update that tonight. But that's where we have him. It's still such a steal. It's one of the best values in fantasy football 2026. So make sure you continue to clean people's clocks while you're able to get that value, because that value will not last forever. It will not. It'll be such a tough thing to get later, if not impossible. So if anybody wants to grab that value now, grab it now. Stop dilly-dallying and thinking to yourself, well, what if? Let's jump into an underdog draft. I'm going to get into a best ball mania. I still have to do a lot of best ball manias, and I don't want to leave them all for the last second where I end up getting, rushed with the timer turning down to an hour, and then I get screwed. The year prior, I had a lot of complaining Caleb's get in here and go, Smitty, your advance rate is so bad in Best Ball Mania. Well, that's because I had about 70 drafts auto draft on me, because I was like in the middle of round 3 or 4 or 2 or 1 in slow drafts that literally I was gone and out of pocket for like 12 hours. And I came back and it all went down to 1 hour timers. I was autoed through majority of all those drafts. And I don't want to have any excuses of that at all. I had a very good best ball year last year. Very good. Despite all the people that like to act like they know what to do and tell everybody else how to run best ball, how to draft best ball. Your boy got inside the top 1% with my best team that went the furthest that I had a team go. And I was one catch away essentially from $100,000 and being 11th place. So, think what you want, do what you want. I don't really care. Looks like we got the one pick. We got the one pick, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't get to put it up on screen, but we got the one pick, and it looked like I was about to time out. So I had to grab Jahmyr Gibbs without you guys seeing it. But let me put this draft up on screen here, and then we'll see 21 picks away. Let me grab this draft. I think this is it. I'll put it on screen. This is the draft. Got Jahmyr Gibbs. Haven't got the one pick in quite some time while we've been live on a stream together, so that's fantastic. Getting the one pick. Phone lines are open. Super chats will be handled in order in which they're received. FDX, Shelly, Simi Valley, Sean over in the Rumble environment. Appreciate you guys all being here. Gray Skull says, I just traded my Judkins, a 27 mid-first rounder, a 28 mid-first rounder for Jamar Chase, a 26 1.9. I don't know how you got the 1.9 on top of that. I'd definitely continue to flip that. He let me pick Chase or Puka. I would have taken Chase without just a batting of the eye, bro. So 100% Smitty approved on that.
You've just been
Not saying I wouldn't have liked the Puka side still, but I probably would have told you try and trade off of the back of the advice I gave you tonight. Try and trade Puka for Chase or JSN and try and do something. But you did the right move. You got Jamar Chase. Mid first rounders, bro, even if they were early to mid, if they were both 1.4 and 1.5 and you knew it for sure, still would crush that trade. So Gray Skull, fantastic job on that. Nice work. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Gump was calling several times when the show wasn't even live. Denny does that a lot. Gump does that a lot. I think Gump and Denny, who are probably our most, how would you say? How would you describe the two of them? They're our most, I don't know, very, very special to us people. And they're the two that I think don't watch the show. I think they just call into the phone line as much as they can. They don't. They call in when I'm not even live. They clearly are not watching. And unique, very unique. Our two most unique people are Gump and Denny. And, if we get them together and meet up next year, that will be amazing. Gray Skull, appreciate you. Nice job on your trade, my boy. Nice job on your trade. All right, we got a pick coming up here. We got Jeremiah Love, Rice, and McBride all falling below the line right here. Don't know what I'll do if Nico or Drake London are there. So Nico is there. So George Pickens. That's a shame. I did want to kind of grab Pickens there, but we can grab. Let's see. Let's go with Rashi, Rice, and I'll probably I like Nico a lot, but do I go McBride here? Oh, McBride already went. So we'll go Nico. I like Nico a lot. I like Love, though, a lot, too. But I'm going to go Nico. I'll go Rice and Nico, grab 2 wide receivers, give myself plenty of flexibility at the 4.12 and 5.1 when we get back to that pick. I would have taken McBride if McBride had fallen. Caller, you are live. What is your name and where are you calling from? Hold on a second. Hello?
This is Avi.
What's up? What can I do for you, Avi?
Yeah. I just have about the JSN Puka toss. So you would really take JSN over Puka and redraft on the board?
That's not exactly what I said. I said in Dynasty 100%. In redraft, you can't just assume that Puka gets the nod because it's redrafting. You don't have as many long-term concerns. You still have, what I tried to emphasize, was you still have a real good debate on your hands because Puka Nacua has to stay healthy, which is still a tall order in 1 year. And then you also have Stafford having to stay healthy, which is also a tall order on 1 year. So when you really break it down, Puka's got 2 injury concerns that are completely, separate together that you got to worry about when JSN has Milroe and Sam Darnold, an offense that probably needs to throw more than it did last year. And JSN's one of the most consistent wide receivers and only getting better, bro. He's only getting better. So the answer is, would I do it? Absolutely. Would I always do it? No. Would I rotate it? Let's say I got 5 drafts where only JSN and Puka are left of the names that I mentioned. Chase, Gibbs, Bijan, JSN, Puka. Those are typically your top 5 guys that I'm looking at in a rotation. And I'm sitting there at the 5 pick, and they're both available in 5 leagues. 2 of them, I'll take Puka. 3 of them, I will take JSN. So I am taking JSN at a slightly higher clip, and there's every reason in the world to argue either side.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, JSN's a monster. I just feel like Puka has more upside this year just to go crazy.
I mean, you could say that, but JSN was pretty damn good last year, bro, and he could get better.
Yeah, he was.
So I don't know that I could say that there's more upside. I think they both have similar upside. I think what it comes down to is there's more risk with Puka, for sure.
I agree. And
but
just another question. Hampton and Genty. Like, if you're on the clock, are you taking Genty or Hampton more often? Another tough question.
I've been splitting that at a probably three times Genty, 2 times Hampton out of 5 drafts, if I could best describe that the same way. Because I don't want to give someone one answer on that, because it's not as simple as take Genty every time. It's 3 Gentys, 2 Hamptons out of 5 situations that are identical side by side. But I'll tell you right now, they're both climbing. I mean, Hampton's climbing a little closer to where it's almost an even divide for me. But man, you guys sniping like crazy, bro. Damn it.
And hopefully Jeremiah Love, your Cardinals, is Love to the moon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Give him the rock.
I hope so. All right, my man. We'll see you later. Call back if you got another one later. All right. Loveland's on the board here. I'm not taking Scatterboo. Loveland's there, but you guys are sniping everything I say, so I'm sure Loveland's going next. Scatterboo, there we go. Trey Henderson, Bashal Tootin. I could go back-to-back RBs here. That's a really good combo right here. I'm going to go with Trevion Henderson and Bashal Tootin back-to-back right here. And this is really good that I went Nico, because if I would have went Love, then I wouldn't have been able to have that flexibility, and I would have had to pick one of them and go wide receiver. So this is a really nice squad. I don't think I've had Hendy and Tootin while having Gibbs and those top 2 wide receivers. That's a freaking beast of a top 5 right there. That's how you smash the top 5 rounds in a 1 slot. You don't do what this guy did, grabbing Devontae Smith and Scatterboo. Now, where's David Montgomery? Of course, in this 3rd slot. Great job. Way to punt that. This is quite the 5 picks right there. Woo. Yeah, this is stupid value right here with Josh Allen. Devontae Smith in the third round, laughing emoji. Bro, I'm surprised he didn't go in 2. I mean, at least he did fall into the third round in this one. JSN is a monster. Anybody that doesn't think JSN is, if people think JSN isn't worthy of the number 1 overall wide receiver ranking, they're kind of out of pocket thinking that. And, you know, you look at the wide receivers, the youngest wide receivers, and this is a feature you can find on thefantasyfootballshow.com, which is, I got to say, not to toot my own horn, but thefantasyfootballshow.com is, I don't know how someone could visit the website and not think it was the best website for content that they've ever seen in their entire life. I just don't. I would love for you to just visit. I've done so much tweaking to this site over the last 24 hours too. If you've been on it and you think you know what you're looking at, I've literally been I spent about 15 hours over the last 48 hours working on this bad boy. And this is what the homepage now looks like. It looks completely, I don't want to say completely different, but it's just packed with information. But one feature that just one tiny feature. You can't even find this feature. Look at the homepage. It's cluttered, but it's collective. It's very, very organized clutter. But one feature you probably can't even find. You can find it by going to the player page and just clicking on their age, which is by their photo and their name. There's an age and it's underlined, so you can click it. You click on this, and this goes to this data chart. And it's such a nice thing to just gander at and just say, when you click on the player's age, it highlights them automatically, scrolls to them automatically, and shows you what rank they are. In my top 20 wide receiver rankings, you can filter by 30. You can go all wide receivers. But JSN is the 6th youngest wide receiver in the league. You look at Puka, you look at BTJ, you look at Tyson, you look at Neighbors, you look at Tate, and it just gives you a little extra dynasty goodness when you're breaking stuff down. So make sure you check that out. We're on the clock right now. Burrow's available. I'm going to check him in case I time out. DK's available. Love the DK pick. I wish Herbert were here, but he's not. Let's go Joe Burrow. Pretty easy click right here. And then it's either DK Metcalf, or I'll scroll down slightly. And I mean, I think it's going to be DK Metcalf here. We need another receiver. We only have the 2 so far. DK's a fantastic third wide receiver in this particular build. I haven't built a team this balanced with Gibbs, I think, yet this offseason. I think this is probably my most balanced and upside-driven team I've seen or built myself. And I look, you guys might say this guy loves every team he drafts. I don't. I a lot of times, you know, the board doesn't fall the way you want, or you draft, especially when you draft with your own people. You get sniped left and right. I haven't built a team that's made me feel this good. And thank God this is Best Ball Mania. And let me rename it right now so I can identify it later. You can click on the info button and then click on the pencil, and you can put a lot of, like, you know, waterworks emojis or you know, eggplants or whatever you want to identify that this is the one that you want. To put a lot of laughing emojis, a helicopter, like anything that'll make me later on go, that's the one. I remember the helicopter one. Because this one might be pizza party driven. Carrie, appreciate you. Carrie says, would you rather Brees or Tate in Dynasty? Give me Tate in Dynasty, but I think I try and get away with a little something if I can try and maneuver a little more. You know? Fannin at the turn, maybe. It just depends what the board gives me, bro. I'm not even trying to decide. Carson Claus says pizza party, bro. Pizza party. Bring the claw down, bro. Grab that slice, Claus. Pull it up. It's a winner. Drop it right into the bin. Team 8 is no running back. Oh, my God. Lamb, Bowers, McConkey, Josh Allen, Tyson, BTJ, Prescott. These guys really think they're going to win with this weird strategy where they draft a bunch of trash. Like, this isn't a weekly winner. Weekly winners, you could get away with this. You grab Dowdle and Manungai, and then they just happen to become monsters the week that everybody else pops off. Different in weekly winners. Different in weekly winners. This is a best ball mania. You can't make it through without RBs. You're done. You're cooked. You're toast. This is a nothing burger team at this point. Now, if the player that falls to me that I think will fall to me, I'm going to be dancing probably to a little. I don't even have a video for the next player that I want to draft, so we're going to have to take. I don't know, who are we going to. We'll play the Gibbs video, I guess. We need some sort of celebration. Yeah, Smitty, that's a team I don't want to play against until week 17. That's right, JP. This team is phenomenal. Okay. Oh, he took this guy. Damn it, bro. His ADP is so far downstream. This guy waits and takes the son of a B, bro. That was the pick I've been waiting, and his ADP is far past this. We would have easily had Jonathan Brooks, but his team's still awful. Like, Brooks is not, like, he's great. He's such a high upside play, but boy, is he crapped the bed. Boys, he crapped the bed on this team because you just can't. And not to mention, he's pushing players down for me that shouldn't be there. Fannin is somebody I'm looking at here. I could go double tight end right here. If let's say I like one player. I'm not going to say it. I don't know if he's going to take him here. I think this guy's watching. Yep. Man, you guys don't let me have anything. I think with the balance that we got going on here, 3 wide receivers, let's just double this up right now and take the 2 best tight ends that are available. Grab Fannin and Kyle Pitts. This team is freaking loaded. Gibbs, Hendy, Tootin. Tootin might be the flex. Rice, Collins, DK Metcalf. Fannin and Kyle Pitts. I thought about Stafford. I know this guy who drafted Nacua and Adams probably, yep. And, he definitely would have been pissed if I grabbed Stafford. I'm not worried about him. But I think this is smarter for my team. Stafford's definitely a good option. Mahomes would have been great to have with Rice, but, cuffing's not everything. This team is phenomenal. And I think that, waiting this long for tight end and still coming away with maybe the best tight end room in the entire draft outside of McBride and Bowers, like even the Loveland, I have better tight ends than just Loveland because I have Fannin and Kyle Pitts, and those should rotate into a better top scorer or at least be equal. Tyler Warren I love, so if he was to couple Tyler Warren with a Pitts type player, then he could have a better tight end room. But I do believe the tight end room here is top notch. I believe the wide receiver room is as good as you can find. I don't think anybody but, if JJ were to deliver, maybe this AJ Brown Tate room could be as good. Ladd McConkey, Tyson, this could be BTJ, this could be, but he literally screwed his own team up. No. I love these receivers late, though. Those are good. JSN, I love it. No. Puka, Adams, and Sutton, pretty good, but still undermined. Chase, London, and Burden, probably better than Rice, Nico, and DK Metcalf, but that comes at a cost. To get that nod over my wide receiver room, you have to ignore running back. Love Monty has no chance of hanging with Gibbs, Hendy, and Tootin. So my team I think, given the one spot, you have an advantage already. But when you land the picks, you do a smart draft, your team's untouchable. Like, this team is advancing weeks 1 through 14. I just need to back up my QB room as best as I can. Coming up here, we've got Baker, Malik Willis, Cam Ward. I probably need to grab Sam Darnold. I probably need to grab one of those guys for sure. I could always grab 2 of them to really, really double up like NASA. But then I'm not getting as good a wide receiver 4 as I could get. So probably going to go quarterback. We'll go Baker, Shuck, Willis, or Cam Ward, or Sam Darnold. We'll get one of those guys. And then at wide receiver, we'll probably grab Jalen Coker or Travis Hunter, or Wan'Dale Robinson's pretty good. We could go. Need another wide receiver. No, Manny. Another wide receiver, Manny. I need another wide receiver, Manny? in best ball leagues are you're only going up against guys. You go up against these guys for weeks 1 through 14, and it depends on the tournament, but the top 2 advance. You're never going against the 200, 300, 400,000, 500,000 people. You're only going up against 11 other people for weeks 1 through 14. Then you're only going up against like 10 to 14 more people the next week. Then you're only going up against 10 to 14 the next week. And then you're really only going up in the finals against the big number. Baker. I think I'm going to go I normally would go Malik Willis here because I really think he's going to score well. But I think I need something a little safer. And then I love Jalen Coker. So we'll go Jalen Coker. Jalen Coker is a beast of a fourth wide receiver, considering we waited till round 11 to grab him. So from the far left column, Gibbs, Rice, Nico, Hendy, Tootin, Burrow, DK, Fannin, Kyle Pitts, Baker, touchdown maker, Jalen Coker. Looking like a squad.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Yeah, Baker's a fantastic second quarterback. I do like Malik Willis, but I want that high-powered, high-octane offense and the guarantees that likely come with that versus some of the unknowns with the Miami Dolphins system, and then just like we see some flashes and some inconsistency. I need somebody that's going to be there scoring a top 12 amount of quarterback points when I need them. Michael from San Diego, you're live, young man.
What's going on, Smitty? Wanted to get you. I know you were talking about Kittle earlier. I wanted to know if you could confirm the Achilles. From what I heard, it was higher, like the Achilles tear was higher up on the leg, so that's kind of why they're saying he's healthy and able to go. I don't know if you heard that report.
Yeah, but
I still believe in
there's still some unknowns with that too. Like people are saying, "Oh, it's higher up. You know, he'll be better off." But like there could still be some unforeseen problems that they don't, because it's not as common, that we see from that. And no matter what, rushing back from a ruptured Achilles tendon, anytime you rupture your calf from your tendon, no matter where it is, high, low, not saying it doesn't have more blood supply and that's good, but you're talking about a severed situation that it's just not something that you should be like glossing over and saying, "Oh, he'll be fine. Everything's great. I'm just going to take this guy as my number one."
No, I agree. I agree with you. I've been hearing that a lot. I still take a lot of Tanjas.
It's a buzzword. It's like a buzzword. It's like something that's, oh, I know. Like people like to say it, makes it look like they know a lot of ball, and they're like, he had a higher Achilles tendon tear than the average person. So it's like, yeah, I mean that could be good. It could be promising for him not to re-tear it, but he's still got to go through a very proper course of caution, because he just tore it at the end of the year in the playoffs. So it's not like Kittle's, had even a remotely decent amount of time between the tear and now. He tore it on. What was the date that he tore it on?
It was in January. I forget. I'll look it up.
It's just, I mean, do you remember the last time somebody said January 11? Remember the last time somebody tore an Achilles tendon and jumped right back into it and played the same year? And I said, watch him tear his other Achilles. Cam Akers. So there's a really, really, really good chance he tears his other Achilles.
I don't trust their medical staff either, man. On top of all of that,
yeah,
So,
well, here's it. Let me make these picks real quick. Isaiah Pacheco, I'm going to cuff him to Gibbs. That was a really good, I think, fall right there. Sam Darnold, man. As much as I want to go Jonah Coleman here, I really want to go Jonah Coleman here. I feel so good about my running backs that I'm going to take Sam Darnold and just make sure I feel even much better about my QB. Like, I've doubled up like NASA on everything. This is such a deep team that's covering every base. Gibbs, Hendy, Tootin, Pacheco, Rice, Nico, DK, Coker, Fannin, Kyle Pitts, Burrow, Baker, and Sam Darnold. It's just such a strong team, top to bottom. But anyway, what I was going to say about Kittle, you know what's funny? These non-ball knowers and people that like to just run their mouth about the medicals and stuff out in fantasy, it's crazy, bro. But one thing you got to keep in mind is the risk of George Kittle's Achilles tendons are not so much the tendon that he had repaired. A lot of the times the tear happens to the other one. Because no matter how high his tear was, that doesn't affect the compensation that he's forcing his other Achilles tendon, which, like tires on a car, they wear similar. It's not Achilles tendon ruptures and Achilles tendonitis and all that. It looks very similar on both tendons. You're wearing down a certain way. You explode in a way that's vulnerable to your Achilles tendon. You've got, if you could do imaging of someone's Achilles tendon right before they blow it, both of them are probably inflamed because of the way this person's, like I tore and ruptured my patellar tendon, and I've had almost every knee injury in the book. My other patellar tendon is probably hanging on by a thread because of the way I function, because of the way my quad strength isn't matching my calves. I got calves the size of grapefruits. And I have, pretty strong thighs, but I'm a runner. And so my body's built differently. And I've been putting for years all the weight on my knees and on my calves when I'm landing and doing all that. And it just, my patellar tendon just blew. And so my other one is also probably very vulnerable because of years and years of abuse. I got patellar tendonitis. I push on the front of my knees. If I go to a movie, I got to sit sometimes on an aisle so I can extend my leg. And just that locking of my leg relieves all this pressure. So back to George Kittle, it's not like he tore an ACL randomly. He tore his Achilles tendon. So the likelihood of him tearing the other Achilles tendon are extremely, extremely high. And so his compensation by rushing back is going to be higher than normal too. There's no way he's not compensating more than normal by rushing back. His other Achilles tendon is in jeopardy. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully he takes this 4 weeks off in the beginning of the year and everybody assumes he's playing week 1 and he doesn't. And all is good in the world, but we'll see.
Yeah, speaking of another tight end, I finally saw some footage of Harold Fandon earlier, so it looks like he's good. Looks like he's good to go.
Yeah,
Hopefully he dominates this year.
That's something we've been kind of, waiting on, just to make sure, undisclosed, what in the hell's going on with them. Very, very excited about that. This team feels like a team that could use a little Jaden Blue, or maybe a little Kalen Black and Jordan James later. Maybe that's what I end up doing. Let's see. Zach Charbonnet's available. That isn't bad. He'll probably help out at the end of the year. Isaac Tesla. I think I'll take Antonio Williams here. Probably safer to go. I like Charbonnet, but he's not. We don't even know what's going to really happen there. So I'm going to go Tesla and Williams. Just really get my wide receiver room as solid as I can. These are contributors. Antonio Williams will be a contributor. Coker will be a contributor. Tesla should be, high efficiency. He's either going to have like a touchdown or two and like 2 catches for 40 yards or nothing. So there'll be times where he actually starts for me in the flex somehow, I bet, this year. So I'm going to go with that. We come back around. Maybe we do a little secret running back situation there. What else you got, my boy?
It's pretty much it for me, man. I feel like news is kind of dry.
Have you seen the Council of 12?
Yes.
Okay.
The other day I was rewatching the video and I just wasn't on that.
Do you accept your assignment?
I do.
Okay. So anytime somebody drops a $50 super chat and asks to have the Council of 12 address the situation, there are 10 people, 10 council members, and then there are 5 or 6 moderators, 7. And what the key is, we're trying to get 2 pieces from that side and 10 pieces from the other side. If we could ever get 12 to actually answer, that's when, I don't know, I'll have a button I press where the whole show explodes. But we're going to try to get as many of the Council of 12 to answer a $50 super chat as we can. We summon everybody. Anybody that's on the council is required to call in or drop at least their message and advice in the chat. And if anybody drops the ball so many times in a row, we might put you on probation to be on the council. And it is what it is. You can earn your way back. We'll have alternates, etc., etc. Anything else?
Good to me. Nah, that's it for me right now, man.
All right. Call back if you got another one. Later, bro.
Yep.
All right. Phone lines are open if anybody wants to dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
God, this is one of the better teams I've drafted in a while. This is a fantastic team. Fantastic. I literally have never drafted a team this balanced with Jahmyr Gibbs. So we got 3 quarterbacks, bye weeks covered. We've got every single one of the RBs. Well, Hendy, Tootin, and Gibbs all different bye weeks. And then obviously Pacheco is the same bye week as Gibbs. But I think I'm going to go 2 running backs. My wide receivers are off the hook. I've got 2 bye week 5 players. I got an 8 and 9, a 7 and 6. I'm kind of covered. Even though I only have 6 wide receivers, they're really good. It's Rice, it's Nico, it's DK, it's Coker, it's Antonio Williams, it's Tesla. All contributors, not waiting on anybody, even Antonio Williams. And my tight ends, Fannin and Kyle Pitts, both week 11 bye, but we'll address that right here. And then, or maybe at the end, actually. I might even address it at the very end. Although, damn, I want Parkinson, but he's also bye week 11. You know, Gesicki's okay. I got Joe Burrow, so that could work. Pungus is bye week 8. I could definitely take advantage of that. Let's see here. We'll go. You know what? I don't want to lose. I don't care so much about the tight end piece right here. I'll figure it out at the last pick. I want to make sure I don't want to divide these guys up. Take a tight end and one of these guys, and then someone who has Christian McCaffrey go, damn it, I got to grab the other now early. I got Jordan James and Kalen Black, which is a secret sauce recipe, especially with this running back build. If I get that kind of value where we get the Mason and Garendo value, it's gonna be amazing. Be amazing. All right, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Blackbeard over on Rumble. Love seeing that. Shelly, Simi Valley, Blackbeard, Shelly, Simi Valley, FDX, Shank, all talking over on the Rumble. Appreciate you guys messaging away, watching away. Rumble, we got 16 to 25 people in and out of that. Streaming at Graveyard's pretty good. On YouTube, we're at 174 to 220, whatever. Hit that thumb up button. We only have 59 thumbs up, and right now about 180 to 190 to 200 people in the building, in and out of the live stream. Please hit that thumb up button. Love this team. This team's fantastic. Just an absolute marvel of a squad right here. Purple John, you're live.
Hey, thanks for taking the phone call. I just want to ask about Elijah Surratt. Do you like that guy? I'm on the clock, and there's a few guys there.
Give me other names.
Bell.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Who? Skylar Bell.
Skylar Bell, Elijah Surratt, Ted Hurst. I have too many RBs. I have like 5 starting RBs in this dynasty league, and I only have JSN, MHJ, and basically no other wide receivers. So I kind of need wide receivers.
Let's see here. Caller, mute yourself. I'll be right with you, please. Keep naming the wide receivers.
I don't really. I mean, it's between Skylar Bell, Elijah Surratt, and who's the other guy I named?
Ted Hurst, you said?
Ted Hurst, yeah.
Keep going, though. There might be somebody I like better. I like Brazel better. Chris Bell, even though you got to wait on it, I still like Chris Bell better.
Bell's gone.
Keep going.
It's either that or I go, BPA and say, okay, let's take a shot on Katron. Let's take a shot on Carson Beck. But I don't know.
Super flex?
Yeah, super flex. I take
Beck. You know what? I've been kind of like the last 24, 48 hours. You might have heard it in my demeanor and some of my commentary where I've said maybe Beck's okay. I'm starting to wonder if Beck's going to be better than we think. So I would probably take Beck if it's super flex. Address the situation later. Let's see. Gesicki. I think I'll take Gesicki here. Pair him with Joe B. Yeah. Wow. Okay. This team's great. 2,700 points. It projects me for 27,300. It looks like it projects me. This is one of the first times it's put me in the top 3 in a long time. They always hate my teams because I always have a lot of rookies and such, but they give me a third rank projection total for a change, which is usually not the case. This team right here. Hold on, John. Hang tight real quick. Okay, go ahead, John. Let me finish with you, and then I'll talk about this team. Go ahead.
And you would still take Beck, even though I took Ty Simpson at the 108.
Yeah, I mean, if it's super flex, I don't mind grabbing some QBs. Jalen Milroe, I love a lot if he's out there, just because it's vets and rookies. I don't know, but
appreciate it a lot, man. Have a great night.
All right, later, bro. Yeah, Surratt just doesn't do it for me. I'd rather take a shot on Beck. And I'm starting to just wonder. I'm not saying Beck's going to be great. I'm starting to be open-minded to hearing some good things. I'm in Arizona. And so I got a little bit of a pulse on the situation. And it does feel like there's some potential for Beck to be a lot like, and Travis and I were talking about this earlier, a lot kind of like a Shuck surprise, Puka to the moon. Sounds like he's trying to get back to the good side, on good side of Rams. Yeah. Be careful. If you're weighing between the other 4 options that typically go in the top 5, I think that there should be some thought about maybe going to JSN. But it's still very much like. Will Beck eventually start? Absolutely expect it. Just because if Brissett's not winning, it doesn't matter how good he's playing. They're going to need to see if Beck is good enough to pass on a quarterback in the draft. If they've got their Tyler Shuck and Beck, then they don't need to draft a quarterback. So they have to know that. And you can't blame them for wanting to figure that out. If Brissett's really good, production-wise, but can't get them over the hump to win games with the amount of talent that's on the roster, you almost can't blame the Cardinals for benching Brissett and putting Beck in. Even though it's not what I totally want, you can't blame them if they're not winning with Brissett. And it's not all his fault, but why would they continue to not try and figure out their situation? What else do we got up in the building here? Dial into the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Travis, I don't know if you're out there. Feel free. Oh, there he is right there. Speak of the devil. Travis, before I go to you real quickly, here's my team, ladies and gentlemen. Feeling really, really good about this squad right here. This might be one of my favorite teams I've drafted in Best Ball Mania yet. So well-rounded. Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Darnold. I don't think I've ever had a better balance before. Gibbs, Henderson, Tootin, Pacheco to Gibbs, James and Black. I think that's just it's like a sleeping giant dormant explosion ready to happen there. Fannin, Pitts, and Gesicki. That's disgusting. Rice, Nico, DK, Jalen Coker, Antonio Williams, Tesla. Probably the only weak part about my team at all is the wide receiver 4, 5, 6, which I like. I just think the consensus will think it's weak. I like it. That's a freaking winner right there. This is one of those teams we're going to look back on. This is very, very similar to the team that I almost got 11th place with in Best Ball Mania. It's very, very similar team. Very similar. I think I had Burrow in that one and Brissett. I had McBride instead of this stable here. Travis, what can I do for you? Travis, you are live. Other caller that I added, just stay muted. I'll be right with you. Go ahead, Travis. Woo! Woo!
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I was trying to call in when John was on the phone, but he dips out so fast.
Yeah.
Asking about the wide receivers and stuff. Like, I mean, between Surratt and Lane, like, one of them has a chance to, carve out a role, but to me, none of them, they're not coming close to passing Zay Flowers. And, Mark Andrews is still there, so, I don't know. You could hope for a wide receiver too, like at the very, very best if everything goes right. But, I'm sure they were gone, like you said, Brazel, I think Shriveling, Antonio Williams, Hurst, Fields. But, I'd also rather take a shot on, Skylar Bell, Bryce Lance from New Orleans. Kevin Coleman Jr. looks good in Miami right now. What's the guy in Kansas City? I'm blanking on his name.
Caldwell, and then also
Caldwell, but the other guy.
yeah.
I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now.
Cyrus
Allen. Right?
Yeah. I like them both. Caldwell probably less likely to impact because he was undrafted free agent, but Cyrus Allen I like a lot. We have a tendency to be like, I don't trust the chief of the player like that, but at some point someone's gonna look great.
And so I think I'd personally take a flyer on guys like that. I guess the argument to take a flyer on a Baltimore guy is if what's his name there, Declan, if he turns out to be a legit play caller, maybe a second receiver becomes more relevant in that offense. But
yeah,
it's kind of a preference thing. But like I said, those other names, I kind of would take a flyer on them.
Yeah.
Before I did. And obviously, if Claiborne's available, I'd take him.
Yeah, Claiborne.
There's a few tight ends like
Kalen
Oscar Delp I would take before one of those receivers.
Kalen Black. Definitely Brazel. I think he said he was gone. Milrow, if he was out there, I'd take. Beck, I definitely would take Beck. I told Travis tonight, and we briefly talked about it, and as I've already said here, I'm a little intrigued by Beck. I'm a little intrigued.
So,
I'm in Arizona, and I hear a lot of things, and I got a good pulse on it, and I'm hearing some things that he's looking a lot sharper than people expected, and they did draft him in the third round, so the commitment's there. They're going to put him in the lineup at some point. It's just a matter of when. And if he doesn't do well, then Brissett's back in. I don't think if he went in, he was trash, that we keep him in. I don't think they would do that. I don't think that they could. So it's going to either be good or bad, and if it's bad, then Brissett's back in, and then it's good again. So it's kind of I feel like Love's protected, and I feel like MHJ and Wilson and McBride are kind of protected. There just might be a bumpy transition toward Beck, and then bumpy transition quickly back, and that's what you might run into, a little lull in the year. That's it.
Yeah, and it's funny, if you talk about a second round wide receiver, tight end, running back, you go, oh, they have high draft stock. They're going to try to give this guy a chance. He's got, they're going to favor him over an undrafted guy or an older guy, whatever. With quarterbacks, a second round quarterback is more like a fourth or fifth round out of the position, because the elite guys go in the first round no matter what. So it's technically speaking, they don't have quite as much draft stock into that position. He's a big guy. He's got good tools. And from what I've read and seen people say, he's pretty good at processing defenses at the line, pretty smart. So from what I've seen, he had trouble with pressure, stuff like that. But, he's got the tools. So, and he's got the receivers. I mean, it's arguably better in terms of weapons.
Oh, Hammer said Malachi Fields. Yeah, I agree with you. And check if Malachi Fields is out there too.
Yeah,
I doubt he is.
I figured he was gone. But.
Yeah, if Brazel was gone, Fields is probably gone. But Fields is another one.
Fields, yeah.
Hurst is pretty nice. I don't know why you would want Surratt over Hurst, to be honest. Because Lamar,
Did you say Hurst was there?
yeah, Hurst is there, so Hurst for sure over. Yeah, but like here's the thing: is like Lamar hasn't produced top 20 wide receivers for a long time until the last 2 years, and Flowers has been like top 15 and top like 11. So he's been doing it with Flowers, but that's rare that he's ever done it in the last 2 years. Is the only time. Changing offenses, you don't have Monk in there anymore, so you don't know if it's going to go back to where Lamar doesn't produce top 15 wide receivers anymore. And even if it stayed, it's only going to be Flowers. Like, he can't support two really good wide receivers. Right. So there's just no reason to draft Surratt. And to be honest with you, there's a reason you've never heard me talk him up, because he's slow. I don't really love him. He's not somebody that I'm super high on. I'd much rather Malachi Fields, like Hammer just said. You cuff him to neighbors if you need him. If I go to my rookie rankings on thefantasyfootballshow.com and I look at wide receivers, let's go through the wide receivers. Chris Bell, I've ranked ahead. Malachi Fields, of course. Chris Brazel, of course. Jeremy Bernard. Kevin Coleman Jr., I like a lot better than Surratt. Stribling, even, I would take him over Surratt. I'd take Skylar Bell over Surratt, but I don't know that I would take Skylar Bell over those other options. Branch is pretty intriguing. Ted Hurst, I like more. Cyrus Allen, I like more. Bryce Lance, even over Surratt, probably.
And there's an argument for Jacoby Lane. Like, which one of those two are going to be the guy if one of them breaks through? Is it going to be Jacoby Lane, who is like, he's kind of got the freak measurables. He's big and he's fast and he's got great hands. Or is it going to be Surratt, who's more of like the technician, like, he's slower, but he's more precise and like, so on his own team. And like you're saying, with Lamar not producing top 10 wide receivers, that almost speaks to like credit Zay Flowers. And like, Zay Flowers is a first round talent, like, not to say guys can't come out of nowhere. Puka,
just remember
lower, but
just remember the guy that got Lamar to be a 40 touchdown passer is gone.
He's in Cleveland, yeah.
Lamar Jackson is going to have to run like crazy again, and he's not going to be a 40 touchdown passer, I don't think. Some people think this offense will be very good for him, and he's a lot of play action under center and all that. I don't know that it's going to necessarily just be a walk in the park. Not to mention, you have to hold your breath that Derrick Henry stays healthy, because if things start going awry there, and I'm not saying to bet against Henry, but there's certainly an avenue of risk that is there, that if Henry isn't the same guy, then the whole thing's going to fall apart. Like, without Henry, they're done.
Yeah, that's everything, because they don't have, Justice Hill is not stepping in. Adam Randall, even if he becomes something, isn't ready. So,
Bills
they're not replacing that.
If only the Bills took Omar Cooper, says Hammer. We talked about that on draft day. Like, I think we were all praying that Omar Cooper fell to the Bills. That would have been unreal. Because, Omar Cooper on New York, doesn't he kind of lose a lot of his allure? Like, I'm not even, like, thinking about it the same way. I'm not even, like, you know what I mean? Man, sucks.
Because Sadiq's there, too. Like, Mason Taylor catches some passes.
Man,
Garrett Wilson is the alpha. He's not going to pass Garrett Wilson.
How is he going to do? Yeah, it's just, God, the Jets really screwed up a lot of things this offseason. Like, they accumulated so much talent, they really stepped on their junk. They stepped on a lot of people's junk in the way. Like, you could have got Breece Hall somewhere to excel. Garrett Wilson could have went somewhere to excel. But instead they trapped all this talent without a quarterback, and they're just holding it.
All on the QB. Yeah.
It's like putting it in a vehicle and just locking the doors, and then they're like, we're not putting an engine in this car. Like, we're just going to put all this talent here. It's unbelievable, bro. But I remember that. I remember us talking about Omar Cooper Jr. going to Buffalo, and we're like, man, this might be it. This might be, they're gonna get Josh Allen, his guy, and Josh Allen's gonna handcraft Omar Cooper Jr. into a top 10 wide receiver. Just kind of sculpt him. I'm excited about DJ Moore, though. I do think DJ Moore is getting a lot of negative. He's slower, picking up things, whatever, and I think that's good. I hope he continues to fall in ADP, because he has been a little costly for me, even though I like him. And I think this offense is going to be a lot more high-powered than people think in terms of the passing attack with Josh Allen. Josh Allen, a 40 touchdown capable quarterback, and people seem to think he only runs and has like 20 something. Like, just He just needs the receivers.
What so actually I was going to ask you about Evans as well. In terms of like finishes for, in a redraft league, where do you view them as like top 10 guys, top 15 wide receivers? Like where do you slot them in terms of like ranking?
Who?
Evans and DJ Moore.
Oh. Mike Evans? I have Mike Evans probably like, let's say
top 10.
Let's say 1, 2, 3 is Chase, JSN, Puka, and if you like Puka too, that's fine. So this is right there. And then you have, all these other players. I truly believe that the safe range for him is like 14 to 8. I don't know where he's going to finish.
That.
He could flirt with 8 for a while, then and then like he could level at 11 or 12. But I think at the end of the day, Mike Evans will be at least the last wide receiver 1 in fantasy. I think he could play all over the place. I know injuries are a concern for people, but he looks in the best shape of his life. And there's no ill effects or him walking with a hamstring injury. People are like, oh, his hamstring is going to be cooked. Then explain how he's dragging sleds with hundreds of pounds of weight on it in his backyard every day and putting in work that a lot of veterans don't put in. This guy's out there doing it, and he's not tearing his hamstring. His hamstring's fine. And
we saw him come back. Like, he came back at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And was good.
This
so
is
it's
going to
not like he ended the year injured, like all beat up.
This is the lowest line I can imagine for Mike Evans. 82 receptions, 1050, and 10 touchdowns. That is probably, let me Hammer just dropped the 20 mark. Hammer time. Let me grab his question and throw it on screen here. Thank you, Hammer. Appreciate you. I will, even though we're not in the zone yet of the $20 extenders, we'll add this to that and start off the show with the 10-minute timer. Throw 5 more on it because Hammer just dropped an extender here. And his question is, give me DJ Moore, Joe Brady, and Josh. Monster year incoming. I did a video on this if anybody missed it. Joe Brady is an underrated, like, arsenal weaponry architect monster. And someone a passerby or a person that doesn't know ball would say, Joe Brady, have you seen what Josh Allen barely throws? What are you talking about? Kind of goes to how intelligent Joe Brady is when he hasn't had the weaponry to have an arsenal. So he's changed and worked with what he has. Josh Allen, James Cook, and really tells me that if you give him back an arsenal for Josh Allen, then he's going to not only be able to do what he's been doing, but he's going to be able to be more balanced. And Joe Brady gets no respect for how complex things are and how they'll run a play over and over and over all game long just to switch it up at the last second to get a first down to win a game. Like, Joe Brady's very intelligent, and Joe Brady is the architect of the Joe Burrow, JJ, Jamar Chase, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, LSU explosion season in college. That is the architect. And this guy gets to have DJ Moore back, who he helped make fantastic in Carolina. And Joe Brady also is most likely to turn his number 1 wide receiver, if they have the slot, wide back, Deebo Samuel, Shakir behind the line of scrimmage, catch the ball and go type of skill set, turn that player into the number 1 player in the league at that specific skill set. So look at Shakir. Shakir's top 4 or 5 every year in yards accumulated from catching footballs from behind the line of scrimmage. And Shakir's not even good enough to do that, but Joe Brady's doing that. DJ Moore is a top 5 wide receiver in the league, maybe even number 1 in catching the football behind the line of scrimmage and accruing yardage. So you give Josh Allen, who does love to live in the I'll make short passes for it being an extension of the run game, he's going to be handed the number 1 player to do what they need him to do in the league. And people are expecting DJ Moore, who's trying to get used to the offense. Well, guess what? A lot of what DJ Moore is going to do is going to be very, very design-driven, very easy to implement, and there's no real mistakes that can be made when it's like, hey, I'm going to throw the ball to you right here 5 feet away from me, and DJ Moore is going to accumulate over 200, 250 yards of yardage behind the line of scrimmage forward. Some of it will be counted as runs, depends where he catches it behind Josh Allen or not, but this is a guy that will accumulate at least 200 yards and 2 or 3, 4 touchdowns from catches that are just behind the line of scrimmage. That is a safety net to give your wide receiver, and Josh Allen's been doing it with Shakir. Shakir's been one of the best in the league at it. So get ready for the DJ Moore show.
And if you look at what DJ Moore can do, like, so 2023, when he had Fields and everything clicked there, he obviously was wide receiver 6. He had 96 catches. But then even in 2024, when Caleb was bad, he still had 98 catches, you know? So he's a 90 catch type guy. Like, I don't think people think of him that way sometimes.
And he is a Shakir, but he's better than Shakir type player. And if Ben Johnson and the Bears didn't use him, and Caleb especially didn't use him, everyone thinks he's washed or he's done. But that's what he does. It's a specialty. But who's gonna expect DJ Moore to do his best at what he does best, which is catch the ball in designed run situations, first read option, design play, when Caleb's holding on to the ball and scrambling around impromptu? That's not DJ Moore's wheelhouse. And so if DJ Moore doesn't fit Caleb's style of play, DJ Moore's not being targeted like he would in a Josh Allen and Brady offense, where Josh Allen snaps the ball, they throw it design play to DJ Moore. That's not happening with Caleb. It wasn't happening. That's why he's gone. So people don't know what they're talking about when they think that DJ Moore is just washed and they didn't use him for a reason. They didn't use him in the way that he's very, very good in league winning. So they let him go. And he was frustrated. And yeah, you might say he gave up here or there, but he was tired of running around. If you remember back the year prior when Caleb was throwing him hospital balls, there was times he'd roll over, look into the air, and just like hit his hand down on the ground or take his helmet off, throw it, and walk to the sideline because Caleb Williams is throwing these hospital balls to him, and he holds onto the ball too long. And DJ Moore's like, dude, I'm wide open. Like, what are you doing? So they let him go, and now he's in a place where they utilize his skill set more than any other team in the league. So instead of Shakir, guess what? DJ Moore season. Short passes, his reception totals up, his yards per catch might be down. That's the way he plays. Like, that's fine. But this is a 7 to 8 touchdown receiver with probably at least 1,000 yards receiving, another 150 to 200, or you could say like borderline in between where they'll be added on the, as a run or a pass. It just depends on where he catches the ball. But he could have, what's DJ? Maybe it's 90 yards, 100 yards rushing. It depends on how Josh Allen and Joe Brady design it up. But DJ Moore, what is the most yards he's had rushing? Let's see.
So his rookie year, he had 172.
Yeah.
But he averages like 60 to 70. He's had before 50, 60, 70. Last year he had 79. So, between 70 and 120 with the rushing, probably one rushing touchdown. He's got a couple of those.
Yeah. Running back like Debo when the ball's in his hands. There really aren't a lot of players like Debo and DJ Moore left in the game. And Shakir wasn't that. They just made Shakir into that. He's good at it, but he's not top 2 or 3 in the league at that type of play. Yeah. Yet he was because of the volume. So if DJ Moore still has it, DJ Moore might be, in hindsight, the McLaurin that we predicted, by the way. We predicted McLaurin to be as good as he was the year that he broke out in Washington with JD5. They bring JD5 in. McLaurin finally goes crazy. We knew that was coming. I think that DJ Moore is going to be that surprise player that, I don't draft enough, to be honest. I'm probably gonna hit this button here, and then we'll add Hammer's 10-minute or 5-minute extender onto the 10-minute. So start off with 10 minutes, and the show will end. $20 super chat will extend the show 5 minutes, and Hammer has already decided he was extending that bad boy. So let me hit that extender button.
5-minute extender.
The show has just been extended 5 minutes due to a $20 super chat.
Welcome home.
So this will move to, just put it at 15 now. Phone lines are open. Dial in if you would like. Hammer, we already talked about your topic, but if you want to throw out another one, or if you want to pose a question, I suppose they could even extend it on that topic. But yeah, Pickens is you could say that DJ Moore could have that Pickens-like year, but Pickens was so young. It's kind of hard to compare. People will look at it differently when you say that, but Pickens was out of the blue, and we did also talk that up all the time. But from an older perspective, like having that one or two last hurrah type of games, how is Portillo's? Very good, thank you. I think who's an older receiver that did this that we could comp DJ Moore to?
Well, you mentioned McLaurin. That's an obvious.
Yeah, McLaurin is.
Let me look up some leaders in the past couple of years. See, 2024.
Yeah.
I mean, are you talking about that goes somewhere new, or just have like a spike season?
Maybe their situation just changed. It doesn't have to be that they moved on, but per se, but they were DJ Moore's age, or they weren't like Pickens on the rise, JSN on the rise. Like, I'm trying to think of a player. And Hammer, you're live. If you've got a name to throw out.
Amari Cooper left Dallas.
Yeah,
his numbers went up with Cleveland as he was older.
Could almost say Olave in a way. Just I know Olave's still younger, but like he was great. Then he went off, and then Shuck came, and the situation changed, and then Olave was like a surprise to a lot of people. I just think DJ Moore's going to have that kind of effect. I think he'll be pretty good, and his ADP is a little higher than I would like it. But like I just said a minute ago, I should be drafting more of it regardless. But let's see where his ADP is falling to. Maybe it's actually becoming more reasonable.
So how do you compare? Like I think he can be better and be more of an effect. But like Diggs kind of did it last year. He ended up wide receiver 14 or something. Like, so do you see DJ Moore in the same range as Evans, like 8 to 14, or do you have him a little lower maybe? Or
I mean, capable of being like 15 to 20. Capable. I'm not saying I lock it in. I'm just saying capable. Like when I'm in round 5, I want Adams, I want Hendy, I want Bucky. Sometimes I'm not taking Bucky every time. I cuff him and I like him. Hendy, Bucky, Adams, Tootin.
So DJ Moore, you're looking at as like your wide receiver 2, whereas Evans in certain drafts,
perfect way to
like the last wide receiver 1.
Perfect way to describe it. Hammer, you're live. Oh, there was another caller on the phone that just dipped out. I'm sorry, bro. You were on. You could have just spoke up. I'm sorry. Call back, caller. Go ahead, Hammer. You're live.
What's going on? I mean, I think talent-wise, obviously, even at his age, Mike Evans is obviously elite. But I think DJ Moore will have each week a higher floor. I think Mike Evans might have like some boom games. I just think DJ Moore is just going to be so consistent. I mean, again, all Allen's had is Kincaid and James Cook, and they've been able to make it work at a pretty high clip. And again, like when we had Joe Brady, he was, I mean, what he can dial up when he has the weapons. He hasn't even had that opportunity yet with
What do we
Josh.
think? What do we think reception wise, yardage wise, and touchdown wise, Hammer?
I don't think he's going to have a ton of touchdowns. I think he's going to have a ton of receptions. And, I mean, even if you look at the Bears, which was just, again, all over the place, I mean,
102?
I feel like he was pretty consistent. Like, he was kind of the one steadfast there.
What if he had
it kind of fell apart at the end?
What if he had 102? Travis, I don't know if you can calculate this and see where it would pitch. 102 receptions, 10-10 receiving, 6 touchdowns receiving, 125 rushing, and let's call it 1 TD rushing. What would
TDs?
So that I can get you a point total if you need that.
What's and then 12.5. I think that's 257.5.
Yes, it is. It is.
Which would be last year would have been wide receiver 7, just ahead of Zay Flowers.
So he's going to sneak into a higher place than people will expect in hindsight. They're like, wow, like Flowers. Flowers is just there at 11, whatever. And I think this is going to be – so to answer your question earlier, where am I comfortable? I still want him as my wide receiver 2 and not my 1, but clearly he can play like a 1. But this is going to be the sneaky part right here. This like extra 120 yards, the extra 1 to 2 touchdowns. If it's 1 to 2 touchdowns, then it's even it's even more like that. And this like Cameron said, if he has 6 touchdowns, not huge, but this other volume is just going to be weighted in such a way that it's deceptive.
Yeah, I think Mike Evans is good for like 800 yards and like 13 touchdowns. I think I can go ahead and put that in ink, like he's going to clear 10 touchdowns easily. But again, I don't know each game what that's going to look like.
I think if Evans can play 14 or 15 games, he's going to be like 85, 11 to 1200 and easy, like 10 to 12 touchdowns.
And it's fine to have different opinion on a very injury older player, like it's expected to not see eye to eye with a lot of people. But I would say like 85 receptions, 11, 25, and like 13 TDs is kind of where my mind goes. Now I could be living in la la land on that, but that's what I think.
Which is kind of like probably close to his average season throughout his career, which is kind of how I see it. Like he's not going to miss a step.
Yeah.
I think he goes right back to being what Mike Evans was. So his average career, 17-game average, 84 catches, 1261 with 10 touchdowns. So you're looking, with those numbers with 13 touchdowns, a little bit less yardage, you're looking at basically his average season.
Where would 275.5 finish in last year's wide receiver scoring? This number
would be wide receiver 6.
Okay, and if
Pickens just before Olave.
And if we gave him, instead of 11.25, we gave him 10.25. So we were going to subtract 100 or 10
points.
10 points. So that would put him at 265.
That would drop him to 7. He would drop just like 4 points below Olave. So basically tied with Olave.
So
basically 6, wide receiver 7.
Basically, if DJ Moore, this is why projections are so important. Because, like, even when I believe you're getting this 13 touchdowns, DJ Moore is deceptively able to hang with the touchdown total because of the rushing and everything. But, yeah, I mean, DJ Moore is just, it's such a, I don't draft a lot of Josh Allen, DJ Moore, and I think I need to over the next week or so just to brute force get a handful of them.
Where is he going, you said, DJ Moore?
It's still higher than I want, like visually, like what peaks.
5th or 6th?
It's 5.9. If it was in the 6th round, I'd feel a lot more comfortable because I end up just smashing the Tootin, the Hendy, the Adams.
If
I need to rotate that.
if you get like a wide receiver like 14 to 18 in the 5th or 6th round,
Yeah.
you're doing okay.
I think I just need to
even if they hit their floor, they're probably pretty safe.
I just think I need to force it more. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking DJ Moore over a Tootin once in a while. Like, I need to diversify my portfolio a little bit too, anyway. But I think DJ Moore, Christian Watson, it seems more logical than I think the average person.
That round is loaded. Round 5 is loaded.
It is a loaded round. I wonder if anybody drafted on ESPN or Yahoo recently, can someone tell me where the suggested rank of DJ Moore is on those platforms? Because I bet that it's a lot more reasonable.
I'll check Sleeper.
I bet you that's where you want to crush the DJ Moore value. I feel like on an underdog, he's floating high, and I don't love it. I'd love to see him fall in around 6 or 6.10, 6.8. I bet you that's where he's at on ESPN, Yahoo, and Sleeper. Got to be later.
Sleeper ADP.
What,
Hammer? Real quick, like, I wanted your take on, again, I've drafted him just for the value, but I'm not really understanding Zay Flowers' ADP. Like, I just don't get it.
Too high.
Well, I think if I was to try and tell you why, it's because he did drop a wide receiver 10
right.
11 or 12 seasons. So it's understandable why someone would cling to that, if you want the explanation. But the things that would make me say that is a mistake would be the offense is changing. So the offense is changing. You lose Todd Monken. So you lose your OC. The offense is changing. Kyler has a history, even though the history recently of 2 years of allowing Flowers to be inside the top 20 barely, and then inside the top 12 barely, back-to-back years is good. But when you factor in that it's taken a lot of tooling the offense and consistency to get it there, and then you lose your coordinator, you lose your offense, and you go to a whole different scheme, you got to ask yourself, will the new scheme allow this man to get even better, or will it potentially change things too much to expect consistency? Not to mention, I think it could be a bumpy road. We also have a play caller that has never called plays before in Baltimore, calling plays. Never called plays. It's just a lot of negatives for me to consider Flowers somebody that you're going to draft piggybacking off of last year's value and take him at the ceiling of all ceilings. I mean, I 100% agree with you. I think there's reason, I understand where people are going and why they're going there, but the red flags are massive. Massive.
Because I feel like the ADP for, like, because he's above him, but then it's like Puka, Burden, Terry, Tet, they're all like mixed in. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they're all obviously pretty solid options, like who you think might have, be the safest or have the highest ceiling. But I do think Terry McLaurin has a big year.
Yeah. And McLaurin has his own red flags too, older.
Yeah.
But so I can't blame anyone for liking Flowers over McLaurin but where I have a problem is the same thing with Devontae Smith. It feels like it's stupid value. And the reason it's stupid is not every platform has Devontae Smith going 3.2. And the reason I know that for an absolute fact, even though I don't draft a lot on ESPN or Yahoo or do any of that, is I can test the temperature of where a player is going more than anybody because of all the comments and stuff that I get all the time. And so I can't tell you how many people a day that see my Devontae Smith chatter on one video or another, and I seem to always mention it. And I just trigger 2, 5, 15, 20 messages, DMs, emails, telegrams, yellow cat calls from the street corner where people are like, "You're wrong on Devontae Smith." Or a very, very popular cat call lately has been, "Smitty, he's not going anywhere near 3.2. What in the hell are you making up this narrative for? He's going at 4.8 on ESPN." So, where you draft is very, very different. Like, you're going to get Devontae Smith going at 4.5, 4.7, where he belongs and where I actually like him. But then on Underdog, you got 3.2. You're going to have DJ Moore fall a lot further, probably. I would imagine Travis is looking that up. in a different. And Flowers,
Yeah, I
same
got
thing.
it.
3.6 for Flowers in Best Ball Mania on Underdog is ridiculously high, and he's probably going more along 4.2, 4.3, 4.4 in a more grandma-tized environment.
Flowers is 4.4 on Sleeper.
There, see?
The odd thing, though, is that Evans and DJ Moore, they're further down, but Evans is 5.10 and DJ Moore 5.11. So they don't drop nearly as far as other guys.
Okay. So 5.11 for DJ Moore instead of 5.9. So we're at least getting close to the beginning of 6. But yeah,
right.
But Flowers, I knew Flowers wasn't floating in round 3 in ESPN or any of those areas.
Wonder.
Yeah, that was just one player. I kind of just, again, I would take him, again, just for the value, but I wasn't understanding. I understand, obviously, what he did last year, but, like, typically for a receiver, I kind of want, like, the body of work to justify that, but...
Yeah. ESPN, he says DJ Moore is 54 on ESPN right in front of May. So 54 on ESPN would be
5.6.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, DJ Moore seems to be going in 5.6 to 5.12. So not breaching round 6, which it would make it easier for me. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I won't force it anyway because I do think I need some DJ Moore shares, especially in Josh Allen teams. You know, and Josh Allen gets drafted, if you could get him beginning of 4 on you can't do that in a grandma league. It's weird how grandma leagues are sometimes more in the know and sharper than these formats where everyone's supposed to be sharp and amazing and everything. And look at Josh Allen falling to 3.11 ADP, but in tonight's draft, he fell to like 4.5. So if you could get 4.5 Josh Allen and then grab DJ Moore right after, so back to back, and then build that around, like, let's say a Genty, Achan, Buka, or Genty or Hampton, AJB. Imagine McBride, and then Josh Allen, DJ Moore. Like, there's going to be a special team that warrants it where Josh Allen falls too far, and we take it. Now, in grandma leagues, you won't get Josh Allen in the 4th round because it's like I always say, the guy that has a mullet that went out of style, but he's still been wearing it through thick and thin, through all the hard times. And then the mullet came back in style. And then one day somebody walked up and said, bro, nice mullet. As if he just grew it, but he's been holding on to it.
It's unreliable.
Right. So the same thing happens to Josh Allen. It's like the ADP, like the person holding on to Josh Allen in the grandma league is holding on to the mullet, and the rest of the world is adapted, and it's those grandma leagues that are actually right. The mullet is in style. It's coming back in style. Josh Allen earlier is in style, and the grandmas have had it right all along. But it's so weird how the more sharper leagues treat Josh Allen like he's 4th round fodder, and it's just stupid. But Josh Allen and DJ Moore together looks fantastic. I think that's a great. What if you got Cook, DJ Moore, Josh Allen? That would be interesting in best ball.
I mean, again, you put up a lot of points, and you're accounting for every single point pretty much possible. So,
let's say in the 11 pick, so 1.11, you take so you take Cook here. Let's say you take Hampton here, and then in round 3 you get who's somebody even better than Buka? The neighbor, like you could go Neighbors. So this is the 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round. Josh Allen. Well, Josh Allen fall to the end of 4 though, probably not. He fell to 4.5 though. Or no, you take him at the top. You take him at the top, and here at the top of 4. Never mind. Okay, so top of 4, you'd take Josh Allen here, and then you'd have to take DJ Moore would have to fall. So this might be hard to get him late 5, but maybe he will. This would be pretty damn good team. Cook, Hampton, Neighbors, Allen, DJ Moore. If it wasn't Neighbors, then I guess like you could put Buka here, but that's pretty good.
Would you flip that 2nd round and go like AJB or Pickens, and then maybe take like a Javonte Williams?
I'm not a big fan of Javonte in 3 myself. I understand it. I don't hate it. It's not a bust. I'm not making fun of it. I'm not trying to detour people away. I want him in 4. I don't really want to draft him. But that's just me. I like him a lot. It just seems high to me. So I'd probably say 3rd round player for me. If we're going back to the ADP board, if let's say I went Cook AJB, then I'd probably say I like ETN there. I know you don't like ETN there. I like ETN there. I like I could even force Allen here in the 3. Josh Allen here, and then in 4, you're taking early Mike Evans. You're taking, and I know you don't love Evans as much. You can take.
No, I like Evans. I like Evans.
Like that. Like that's still. I'm sorry. That's still a really good team. Cook, AJB, Josh Allen, Mike Evans, and DJ Moore. It's hero RB. Hold on, Gumps wanted to get in on this. Hold on one second. Let me get Gump in here. Gumpy, you're live. Gumpy, why don't you go ahead and address the phone line here? I got an echo, Gump. What are you doing here? Gump.
Oh, can you hear me?
I don't know. I got a big echo. What's up? You're live.
Okay. Number one, I don't know why people are picking Puka so high. When Stafford gets hurt this year, which he will, because he got a tough schedule, who's going to throw the ball to Puka?
Well, that's why I talk about that a lot, but go ahead. Thanks for trying to say what I just said.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And then why is Laporta going so low?
God, why is it always Lions with you? Hammer loves Laporta, and I've always liked Laporta, but go ahead, Hammer.
I love Laporta this year.
Oh my gosh, he's going where? There's no way in my league I'm going to be able to get Laporta. There's no way. I'm in a Lions freaking league and I can't get him, and everybody's getting him in the 9th round.
Oh, he's going later. Or he's going. No, he's going 8.11. He's climbing actually. Okay. So Hammer, do you like Laporta over
Yes.
Fannin? Gump, I'm asking Hammer.
Yes.
Do you like Laporta over Fannin and Pitts though? Because those guys go 1 round later.
How about let's put it perspective.
Laporta
over
Gump. Let's let Hammer answer. We know your answer, so hold on a second.
I like Detroit's schedule this year, and again, outside from when he was injured, like Laporta was, is a massive part of that passing attack. St. Brown consumes so much, but I think Jared Goff's going to have a monster year as well. I just think they're going to score a lot of points, and again, I think Laporta is just going to have a ton, especially in the red zone.
Yeah,
I think he's going to have a big year.
I like him, but I still personally
hammered it.
Good job, Gump. I'm personally still going to rank Fannin. And I could flip Fannin and Pitts, to be honest. So Fannin, Pitts, and then I think it's Laporta very close after that though. So these are really, really close tight end rankings. This is where these guys go.
Yeah.
Fannin, Pitts, Laporta.
Kraft is
Kraft,
amazing.
yeah. Yeah. So I would put Kraft. I think Travis, what is your rank? I might even put Kraft 2 and then Pitts 3, but because I don't trust Stefanski as much. I trust Tommy Reese to a degree, but I also believe London's going to benefit a lot. I think I'd go Kraft.
Yeah. I think you could argue either way. So
Laporta. That's how I'd rank those. Gump, you put Laporta, top 3?
Probably tight end 3 this year or 2.
The other thing is
the reason why he's healthy
instead of.
Well, like Cameron, like you said, our whole team our offense revolves around Laporta.
No, it doesn't.
It does. And St. Brown, it does. It really does.
He's a third or fourth option.
I
like Laporta, but come on, Gump. Gump, it revolves around Gibbs and St. Brown, and Laporta's a really effective piece. He's the effective arm of this team, but it is you're getting a little carried away.
JMO gained on him last year.
You can't.
JMO entrenched himself a little more.
Yeah, I mean, if we're ranking them, it's St. Brown, Gibbs,
Doesn't Putney like tight ends? Doesn't he like tight ends?
Gump, without crapping on one player to talk about another player on your team, rank the weaponry. Rank it in front of us. St. Brown, JMO. You're on here talking about JMO one night, then you're on here talking about Laporta the other night. You're just jumping back and forth on these players. Rank them in order of effectiveness. St. Brown and importance. St. Brown, JMO, Gibbs, and Laporta.
Are you talking best ball?
Just rank them, Gump, any way you want.
I'll go Laporta after St. Brown. I like him over JMO.
He's just going to copy you, Hammer.
No, I don't have to say a doggone word after Hammer just spoke.
If we were all walking on the Vegas Strip right now, you'd want to walk next to Hammer, wouldn't you? You'd be like, let me walk next to Hammer.
You know I would. No, I wouldn't hold his hand, but no, I've had his back at this point. Yeah.
You want to at least...
JMO's too boomer bust. He's too... I don't... Like, Laporta is just, I feel like, more consistent. Like, JMO will give you the games.
Laporta's got
again, I guess people will make you, obviously, people will say, well, that's why I want him, where he has, like, 102 and then literally a dud. Like, I just don't want a receiver, like, on my team that I have to worry about that.
Yeah, I like Laporta. He does got to prove he's got to stay healthy. I don't rank him second or third on this roster. He's never had over 889 yards. He did have 10 touchdowns that rookie year, but I think like what he did in 2024 on 16 games, the 726, 7 touchdowns, 60 receptions. I think he can best that, but I don't know that he like towers over it. So he feels kind of like an 8-10, 6 to 8 touchdown, 60 to 65 reception guy, which is fantastic. But I think that's not going to be number 2 on the roster personally. But I could understand, I mean, there was a world where we came out of Laporta's rookie year, and I believe Laporta was the number 1 ranked tight end in fantasy football that year in the 3rd, 4th round, if I remember correctly. So you're not wrong to love him and think he could return to the glory days of his, entering his sophomore year. But I think I'd be a little more cautious personally. But that's just my take. It's a very arguable take for sure. Not to mention, Tesla.
The easy schedule, and now the breaking news out of the from the Kit Kats is Kirby Joseph. He says he's going, and so if the defense gets really good, I also
did we figure that out?
What did he just say, Travis? Can you translate that for me? What did he just say? The Diosa? What did he say?
Did we figure out who the Kit Kats are? He was talking
I don't know what that's why I'm asking you, Travis, if you can translate for me.
Those are the insiders in Detroit.
The Kit Kats like Kirby Joseph. So
why Kit Kats? Why Kit Kats? What in the hell are you talking about? Why not like Lion?
No, that's their nickname, the Kit Kats.
Who gave them the nickname Kit Kats?
Whose nickname?
Well, you remember you had that cartoon with the cat and stuff like that.
No,
you kind of did.
What cartoon? Gump, you're very vague. What they tell me? They tell me you remember the cartoon. No, I clearly I don't. What is a Kit Kat? What do you mean?
You know the Detroit lane when you're driving the car, it's called the Detroit lane, and then they have those videos.
No, I don't know any of this, Gump. I must be living under a rock. I don't know all this. I don't know any of it. I don't know
you don't know what the Detroit lane is?
No.
That's where you put your seat all the way back down, and you barely look above the your passenger. I mean your driver's door,
happens
your window, your head.
I see that in Arizona.
In the videos where the cats are driving the car.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, the cats are driving the car. Okay, I've seen the meme.
And these are the podcasters and all the people that are saying.
I don't. Can anybody confirm in the chat that they know they've heard what he's even talking about? I think Gump, this is in your own world. I don't think it's his consensus type of thing in Detroit.
Matt Room got fired. He got his credentials taken. One of the Kit Kats got his credentials taken. They're all laughing about it. He told him how he felt, and then Detroit team told him, "Hey, you lost your credentials."
I don't know.
But anyway, that's beside the point. That's a Kit Kat's problem. But anyway, what I'm saying is that Puka, I don't know why they're grabbing. Where are people grabbing Puka?
Well, I mean, to be fair, Gump, when he's on the field and Stafford is healthy, which both of those things are the case right now. So you kind of have to accept the reality that it's arguable that Puka Nacua goes number 1 overall. Whether you believe Stafford stays healthy or not, Gump, the fact that you don't comprehend that Puka can be the number 1 overall scorer in fantasy football.
So what you're saying is that you should grab Puka and then trade him.
Well, if you can get a lot, but people tend to not want to trade for Puka as well because of that risk. But in redraft, he's a very safe top 5 pick, but he does rank 5 for me for the reasons that I said that you copied when you called into this show and said that he could get injured or Stafford could get injured. Of course, that gives me pause to make him number 2 or 3 personally. But number 5, he's a guaranteed top 5 or 6 overall pick. And that's a very understandable.
I didn't even know what you're saying on your show.
Huh?
I didn't even know. I just called in. I don't even have your
show
on. Is that spooky?
I also said that. I also said no. It's not spooky, Gump, because I have 7 missed calls from you calling all night long until you finally catch us live because you don't watch the show. You're like. No,
I was thinking. I was meditating and I was thinking about all this stuff. I thought I better tell Smitty and the boys.
So on my phone line, I see missed call. He finally calls in now, catches us live, but Gump's not watching. Gump and Denny don't watch the show. You guys call in like I'm your therapist.
I do watch the show. I watch you. I get a chance. I watch you.
All right.
I like your ADP chart, and stuff. I was watching the ADP show. Great job. I mean, really great job. I love that. I just love it.
Hard to tear Gump down. He's a big teddy bear. All right.
No, I really like it. But
Hammer,
can I give you?
Hammer, anything else you got or you want to ask Gump?
Why?
While he's here.
I want to ask Hammer about Tesla. Why is he going so low?
Well, I don't want any part. I don't want any part of him. But one thing I guess that Gump will like, but again, the consensus one is, I mean, I'm taking St. Brown over Puka.
I love him. Yeah, we love him. Man.
I can't argue. You can't argue that. I mean, many will, but I wouldn't argue
St. Brown over Puka.
St. Brown's the safest wide receiver out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, 4 every year, 3 or 4 every year. So there's nothing wrong with that. Like Puka, everyone can defend Puka, and I'm going to tell you, Gump, and anybody else that Puka deserves to be considered. But yes, Puka, Stafford goes down. Puka's
ceiling, unlike anything else.
Yeah, the ceiling is number 1. Puka's ceiling's number 1, but Stafford and Puka staying healthy, there's 2 components there you got to worry about all year.
But that's a big crash if they don't. That's a big crash with the Kit Kats. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but at the same time, if we're considering the Stafford part of it alone, which you're not because you're considering Puka's injury risk too. But what if Goff goes down?
I just have this feeling. I have a feeling about Stafford getting hurt.
It's because he has
what's their schedule like? What's Striker's schedule?
I mean, you're not looking into the crystal ball too much. He's got a bulging disc and a spinal cord issue. Like I got a real funny feeling about Stafford. I don't know Stafford. Guys, this one's gonna blow your mind. I mean, of course, Stafford.
The Rams want the hammer down on everybody else, but what happens if the hammer comes down on them? Ain't the right hammer?
What do you say?
I don't.
With the tight end they got the tight end, but the defensive end they got from Cleveland. They want to put the hammer on everybody else, but I'm kind of thinking the hammer's coming down on them. Ain't that right, Hammer?
What? The hammer's coming down on who?
On Goff. Not Goff, but...
Try it one more time, Gump. Try 3rd time's the charm.
The Rams, they want to hammer everybody with their defense. Well, guess what? I think the hammer's going to happen to them because of what's their strength of schedule? What is it? Is it They have to play the second hardest, fourth hardest. What is it? What's their strength?
You
the
tell
schedule?
me. I feel like you know.
It's the Hammer.
You tell me.
Well, Hammer probably knows.
No, I don't know their schedule.
What was it? Will they have four? The fourth toughest. What is it?
Well, I would say it's
Here,
four.
why don't I go to
four.
why don't I go to thefantasyfootballshow.com and I'll find out exactly. So if we go to the heat map board, okay, and we click on good old Matthew Stafford, he's got the 11th easiest, his 11th easiest schedule in the National Football League. So Hammer, I'm sorry, Gump. Apologize, Hammer. Gump doesn't look like you're. No, that's week 1. I'm sorry, that's week 1. My fault. 18th. So that's not the worst.
I don't believe they got 18. I don't believe that.
That was week 1 that I was looking at. Week 18th. I'll put it on the screen right here. thefantasyfootballshow.com. Go check out your heat map, baby. So he's got a lot of tough matchups in the middle of this season, or the beginning middle. Philly, Buffalo, a lot of red right there. But solid playoff
go out
schedule.
early. Then you're saying he's going out early. Oh my gosh!
I didn't say anything.
Well, you just said it.
No, you heard it, Gump, when you were meditating.
I did hear it from you.
Gump, I gotta go. Gump, call in tomorrow. Appreciate you. Any final words? You got 10 seconds, Gump. Then I'm going to Hammer. Then I'm going to Travis, and we're out of here unless we get an extender. Go ahead, Gumpy. 10 seconds. 10, 9.
I liked our running back, the second one we got.
You don't even know his name.
It's late at night. I know his name. We all know his name.
No, we all know. Don't Biden me. You know the guy. Come on. What's his name, Gump?
I had too much picnic food.
How do you like these guys so much? You don't even know their names. That's the problem I have. You call in and try and lie on us.
I'm just saying, is Pacheco is going to be as good as Monty? That's the big deal. That's right from Kit Kat, Gold, the Vault, the whole bit.
Kit Kat
is top secret. Pacheco.
Finish him.
All right, Hammer. Final thoughts, my boy. Enough.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's another out-of-body experience, but
never eating Kit Kats.
I appreciate it.
Never eating Kit Kats again, bro. All right, Hammer. Thanks for the super chat, the extender.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow, pal.
Appreciate it.
Later, Travis. Final thought.
Just wanted to run a trade by you.
All right, hit me with it.
In the chat. He would be trading away JJ and Hampton. This is a redraft. And he would get Puka and Scat.
Puka?
Yep.
Or Buka?
And just for Puka, Puka Nacua.
Puka.
Just for context, he has Bijan and Hampton as his receivers. As his running backs. And his wide receivers are JJ, Olave, and Ladd. He's got a really good team.
I think I lean JJ and Hampton. I'm not calling JJ a bust. I'm not avoiding him entirely. I just no longer feel really good about his ADP, which if he fell to the 4th, 5th pick in the second round, it starts to become more comfortable again. Hampton, I think, is a first rounder trapped in a 1-2 turn ADP. So I think he's as good as number 8 overall. So Puka's better. Hampton's close. JJ, I think, is still a lot above Scat because Scat's such an injury risk. So I think I'd lean toward this side in redraft, but I don't know. Puka's it's pretty good. It's tough. It's a tough question.
You could argue he has Bijan as his RB1, so he could take a little bit of a chance to jump up on JJ to Puka, but Hampton to Scat is too far of a drop for me for what I think Hampton's going to do this year.
Yeah. You're talking about JJ has the possibility. I don't love paying for it, but the possibility of being a top 12 overall player because that's where his ADP is. And Hampton's also a top 12. So you got 2 top 12 overall ADP players in Hampton and JJ. And you have 1 number 4 overall player. And then you have Scott, who's in round 4. So it's understandable to like either side. It's pretty even. 20 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, and just real quick. So he said he's not going to do this trade, but he was also looking at Bijan for Puka and Scott. Would you keep Bijan there?
I'd rather Bijan.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Yeah.
Travis, thank you. Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks, Smitty. Bye.
Thank you, moderators. Blackbeard, Travis, Sick Nasty, Aldi, Simi Valley, DeBalt if he's out there, Vampy if he's out there. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget, every single time we get a $50 super chat, you can request the council.
The council has been summoned, activated by a $50 super chat.
And when the council is summoned, we get as many of the council members as possible on the phone line, through the chat, et cetera, to try and answer your question appropriately. So just know that going forward, if anybody would like to have the council summoned.
The council has been summoned, activated by a $50 super chat.
Working on the audio, make sure we don't bleed out the microphones here. Appreciate you all. Anytime you want to activate that council, do so through a $50 super chat. And just mention in there, council me. Give me the 12. Summon the 12, Smitty. Get it ready. Do it live. All right, see you Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Live almost every single midnight like tonight, where we draft on Underdog, promo code Smitty. That link is pinned in the live chat. The link's in the description of the video, and code Smitty gets it done as well. And then I'm live also pretty much whenever big news breaks. So lots of opportunities to catch live streams. So subscribe, turn on that notification, hit that bell, turn on the notifications, and please like the video and leave a comment. Deuce. Thank you for the super chats tonight. Hammer, thank you for the extender. Chuck, appreciate you. Thank you for the update on the DJ Moore ADP. Ray Skull, appreciate your super chat. Carrie, appreciate you dropping the super chat. Chuck, thank you for the other super chat. Sounds like he's trying to get back on the Rams, that one as well. Thank you all for the super chat. See you at see you tomorrow, probably during the day, at least at midnight tomorrow, but probably another show maybe during the day. Deuce.